Hey everybody, this is Robert from Black Belt Gaming. How about a little Star Wars? I'm interested in teaching myself about this new role-playing game that's come out from Fantasy Flight Games. It's called Star Wars: Edge of the Empire. I have most of the stuff that's come out for this already, so what you see here is a stack that came in the beginner game, the beginner box set, including these interesting dice here that we'll be talking about. It also came with some nice tokens, and you've got some other information in this beginner box, which is read this first, talking about role-playing games, and it gives you some sample play there. You've got the read this second. This is the adventure book, and this is what I'll be spending most of my time on with this first series on this game. This takes us through an adventure and kind of teaches us the rules as we go along. Then when we want to start playing our own stories and our own original adventures, we can use this rule book, and it gives us additional information, including some other adversaries and bad guys that we didn't find in that particular adventure. So we've also got in this beginner game box set 4 pre-generated characters. So these are character folios, and inside you'll find the character sheet with the information necessary to play, as well as explanations on what all of it means. And then you've got some interesting stories here on the back about how this character connects to this particular story, this particular adventure. Also within the beginner game, you've got one big fold-out map that has several maps on it. And if you want to continue along and run another adventure, I think Fantasy Flight has a free download adventure to play next after you complete this first one. Really anticipating that I was going to like this game, I went ahead and I picked up the Game Master's Kit. This is another booklet. I think it has another adventure in it. And then you get this really neat screen here. This is the Edge of the Empire Game Master's screen. So this is what the players would see. And if I were to turn it around, it would have all kinds of charts and information that you could reference during the play about what the dice mean, and what's the difficulty check for this and that, and how much damage does this weapon do. That's on the other side, and I'll get to some of that later. And then we've got the big rule book here when you're really interested in playing the game. There's a little read this first that came with the rule book also. But this gives you all the necessary information you need to create your own characters and how they progress through the levels, and just gives you really everything you need to play in this first publication. So, Edge of the Empire. Well, this is not really about the rebels fighting against the Death Star. It's not about the struggles of the Jedi. This Edge of the Empire is really about Han Solo's world. This is about the shady characters in the Star Wars universe. Smugglers and pirates and bounty hunters and hired guns and thievery and all kinds of interesting stuff there. Think of it a bit more like if you're a fan of Firefly, Serenity. It's a bit more along those lines. So still set in the Star Wars universe, but a bit of a different feel. So what are we going to do? Well, I'm planning to jump right in and start playing through some of the encounters here in this adventure book. I don't think that I'm going to read through all of the block text, the introductory text. I don't. My advice to you here is, if you don't want the game spoiled, if you want to keep it a mystery so that you can play with your friends and not know what's going to happen next, just like watching a movie or watching somebody play through a video game or something, I would advise you to, in order to avoid any spoilers, maybe avoid this series. If you're someone that may pick up this box set and run it for your friends, maybe this video series can help you. It's certainly me trying to just open things up and start learning right away. So if you want to join me on that journey, then please stick around. But let's get started with the adventure book. I think this particular adventure is called, what is it called? Escape from Mos Shuta. So let's get started. Well, here's one of the maps that came with the beginner box. It is a map of Mos Shuta, the streets of Mos Shuta. This is an area on the planet Tatooine, where in the very first movie I ever saw of Star Wars, it's where Luke Skywalker was from. So here we go. We've got this this city here. We've got different things labeled on the map. You've got different shops and cantinas and kind of a crime boss's palace and just all kinds of stuff here to check out and adventure around in. So the characters, what's going on with the characters? Well, the basic idea, like I said, I'm going to leave the particular details to you and your friends so that it can be somewhat spoiler free. These four characters are in trouble, and they're kind of working together now to escape from a hut, like Jabba the Hutt. They're trying to escape from this hut named Teemo. And each of their stories will explain, like here's the smuggler here, it will explain what happened and why they're trying to get away from Teemo. So the characters are trying to run away and escape from Teemo, and they're trying to get a ship. They're trying to find a ship here so that they can get out of here, because their ship, I think, was damaged or destroyed. So they need to get a new ship, basically steal one, and get off this planet as fast as possible before they're, I guess, killed. So that's where we're going to jump in. The player characters are on the run, and they're about to run down here to the cantina, duck inside, and hide from some of Teemo the Hutt's thugs that are chasing them. The thugs are these guys. These looks like an orc, doesn't it? I think they're called Gamorreans. They're big, kind of pig-looking guys with bulging muscles and bulging bellies, and usually carrying big axes and clubs and all that kind of stuff. So they're chasing the heroes and and they're ducking into the cantina to see if they can hide. So let's get to some of the game mechanics here. How do skill checks work? How does combat work? We're going to take a look at that. So you've got your characters. You've got these tokens that came with the game. You've got your player characters. They're coming into the cantina. And one thing that happens right away is, because they're running from the thugs, every one of these player characters, even the droid, has suffered some strain. Strain is like fatigue or stress. So each one of these characters is now already down or has suffered 2 points of strain. So let's take a look at a character sheet and see where we would find that. Well, here's our smuggler here, Pash. And we flip open his character folio and we find all kinds of information. Most of this over here is related to his skills. So let's concentrate on this part right here. You see strain right there. It's at 12. Right here, the points are going to start counting up. When Pash gets to, I can't remember if it needs to exceed, maybe it's 13 points. When his points of strain go over his threshold, then he's basically stressed out. He has suffered too much strain and he falls unconscious. This is different from wounds. Strain is something that you can recover much more quickly, like fatigue. Wounds take time to actually heal. So each of the characters would be at 2 points of strain. So you would note that on their character sheets and then continue to play. Now within this 2-page, or what is it, maybe 4 pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 pages here. This is the read this first section. There's an example of play. It actually has all 4 of these characters in this same location. I'll show it to you right here. And it gives you an example of what the game master would say first and then what the players might say in response. And for testing out this game and how it works, I'm just going to follow this example. When you play this game with your friends, you know, they may take totally different actions, and that's the beauty of a role-playing game. It's just really up to your imagination. This adventure, however, I do need to say that this adventure in the adventure book does tend to, as role players would say, it kind of railroads you through this particular adventure. You know, you have some choice, but it's really kind of taking you on this one plot, telling this one story. So you're given some different choices about how do you want to handle this conflict that's coming up. I'm going to follow this example. And as these guys have come off the hot streets, they're tired, they're worried, they're trying to catch their breath. They go into the cantina. People kind of turn around and say, you know, what's going on? They need to find somewhere to hide as quickly as possible. So right here we see that this guy, Ethan, he's playing Pash. This is the smuggler here. He says he's going to slip into a booth along one wall and hunker down so I can't be seen. So he's going to head over here, one of these booths here. I think he's actually going to try to duck in here and see if he can hide. So let's get to the good stuff. What happens? How does he resolve whether he's successful or not? Now, probably if you're running this game, you'll let everybody declare their actions and then start rolling the dice, but let's take them one at a time. Let's see how we resolve a stealth check for Pash. How do I know it's a stealth check? Well, it's right there in the adventure book, and it's right here in this example of play. It is an easy stealth check. So let's see how we do that. Well, here are the dice that come with the game. And this comes in the beginner box set, the beginner game set. And these green dice sort of represent your natural ability. You can upgrade those to yellow dice for levels that you might have in a skill, so a skill rank. So let's say you're just very naturally, you're naturally very, very agile, and you've got 3 dice there. But you've got, a point or a level in stealth. You could upgrade that to a yellow die. That's how that would work. I'm still trying to learn the game. I'm not exactly sure about how this, I think it's a force die will work. We'll get to that later. But that's the green and the yellow. The black dice represent something negative going on, some sort of disadvantage. And these little gray or bluish gray dice will represent some sort of advantage. Something's in your favor. Instead of rolling against a target number, you're going to be rolling these dice. And these dice have negative things on them, so they will start to cancel out any positive symbols that you rolled on your dice. So this is what helps set the difficulty. And then just like you can upgrade a skill, a die here to a skill die, you can also upgrade one of these dice here to this red one here. Now, some people said, well, I don't know if there's enough dice. I mean, that's a lot of dice. But some people say, what if I have, what if I need 2 of these red ones because it's been upgraded twice? Or, somebody needs to roll 4 of these green ones and I only have 3. Well, I actually went ahead and I bought another set of dice just in another box. And you can do that. But there's also something I want to show you that's available on your mobile devices. Alright, well here we are. This is on my tablet here. It's Star Wars Dice. And this is a really neat application. You do have to purchase it. It wasn't free. And I can't remember the exact cost. It wasn't very much. But this allows you to roll the dice on your phone or on your tablet. And you can change the settings around. So the background, maybe you want to choose something that fits this kind of role-playing game set in the world with Han Solo. You could get one and put him in the background, or you could choose Boba Fett, or you could choose something like what do we say here, Space Battle, where you see the Millennium Falcon there. So let's why don't we pick something fitting here. This is kind of in Han Solo's world. Let's choose him as the background. There's some different sound options here. We're just using standard. You can use a kind of a Jedi group of sounds. You can turn all of it off, or you can just use dice only. We'll just keep the standard going for now, and we'll go back and get ready to roll some dice. So this takes us to the die rolling page, and when you want to roll your dice, you just tap them and they start appearing there. And then you want to add some challenge dice or difficulty dice there. And then when you're ready to roll them, they'll roll around and straighten up. And then the neat thing here is it'll calculate the results. So maybe we'll use a little bit of this, or maybe we'll use a little bit of that as we play along. But I just wanted to share that with you. That's something out there that's relatively cheap, and you can get, and you're just not going to have any problems if you start to run out of dice. Alright, so where were we? Oh yes, Pash the smuggler was getting ready to try to hide from the approaching thugs, and he doesn't have much time, so he's got enough time to try something, but it has to be fast. Well, he said he's going to hide, so we're going to look on his skill list, and we're going to look for stealth. And there it is. We see that stealth is connected to maybe agility. Let's see what that is. Yes, agility. He's got 3 in agility, but he doesn't have any ranks in the stealth skill. So this is just kind of his natural quickness here. He's going to be rolling the 3 green dice. So let's start assembling his pool. Now, according to the guidelines in the game, this check is an easy check, which means we're only going to be running or using one of these difficulty dice here, which will start canceling out anything good he rolls here. Now, as you role play, if you think the player has done something particularly clever and deserve some sort of advantage, you can give them one of these dice. Or if things are really against them, some sort of disadvantage, then you can start adding some of these black dice to their roll, which have some negative symbols on them. But we're just going to go with a straight, very basic roll here. His agility dice against this one difficulty die. Pick them up, and we'll see what happens here. Okay, these little suns or explosions, those are good. Those represent successes. And then we have this little symbol here. This is what's the technical name for it? Was it threat? Fortunately, on the character folio, it has these listed here, the symbols on the dice. Success, triumph, which is wonderful. Advantage gives you some kind of positive side effect. You have a failure. This will cancel one of these symbols. And then you have a despair, which is a really bad thing, kind of the opposite of the triumph up there. And then this one that we rolled is just simply a threat, and it says that it indicates some sort of negative side effect. So, according to this roll, the stealth check is clearly successful. We just need to have at least one of these. But something a little bit negative happened along with it. So, that's just up to our creativity. What happened? Well, Pash, maybe he went in here and tried to hide under this booth. Who knows? Maybe there were maybe there was a glass or a mug or something on there, and he hits the table, and the mug breaks on the floor. So, although he's hidden, maybe he's caused a little something that is working against him there. It could draw the attention of the bad guys as they're coming in if they look close enough. So just something to add a little tension to the moment there. Some kind of small disadvantage. So that would be what would happen for Pash the Smuggler. Okay, well what about our droid? In the adventure game, this area is all described. You've got the bartender over here, you've got a closet back there. It says in the sample gameplay that, I know it's on here somewhere, oh yes, this droid guy, the guy playing 41 VEX, or Vex, he says, "I'm not terribly stealthy. I'll shuffle into the storage closet and look for some way to bar the door." Well, this will also be an easy check for the droid. He can get into the closet no problem, but to see if he can just successfully lock it down, it's going to require, according to the adventure guidelines, it's going to require a mechanics check. So let's get ready for his check. Alright, 41 Vex, let's see, what's your skill level here with mechanics? It's based on intelligence. Your intelligence is, your intellect is high at 4. So there we go. We only have those 3 dice, remember, that came with this set. We couldn't roll 4 of those. We would have to kind of re-roll one of these. So maybe an incentive there to either get another set of dice or use this application, but you can certainly just note the results and then roll the die again. But let's see, going back to mechanics, he's got 1 rank in there, so that's going to solve our dice problem right away, because one of those 4 green dice will upgrade, because he has a skill rank, to a yellow die. So his die pool would look like that, and then he would also be rolling against one of the difficulty dice, one of the challenge dice there. So let's why don't we give this a roll? Go for a spin here on this application. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll get one of these. And then let's roll the dice. And the nice thing is this will calculate it for you. We've got 4 successes, which is great. It looks like we had 2 failures. So 2 of those successes got knocked out and canceled. So even with that, we still had 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we also had 2 advantage. So not only does he succeed, something pretty good happens to him. How do we want to interpret that? Well, it's interesting. In the example of play, the character actually makes a good die roll. He's playing the droid, and he gets a success, and he gets a triumph, which is even better than a advantage. And the game master says that you're able to lock the door, you know, you're able to jam it shut, and you happen to notice an emergency repair kit just lying on the shelf there. That's something you just added to the story based on his good roll. I think other things that you can do, you can give characters, when they make a roll, a chance to benefit from their success with those points of advantage. I know in combat you can recover strain. Remember those 2 points of strain that everybody suffered? I believe it is also acceptable, and anybody out there that knows something different, let me know, but as I'm reading and trying to learn this game, I think it is acceptable to allow the player to spend some of those points of advantage to recover strain. It's basically like he's gone into the storage closet and he feels, you know, he's able to lock the door and he feels like, okay, I'm safe. I've got a moment to take it easy here. So, you know, he kind of recovers. For a droid, what would it be? Probably a chance for him to just, you know, slow down and kind of cool his systems down a little bit so he doesn't get overloaded. So maybe we could allow him to recover some strain and get back up to full. In fact, let's take a look and see what the droid's strain threshold is. His is a little lower. His is at 11. So he would actually have 2 points here that he suffered for being on the run and under some pressure. Maybe we could use those 2 points of advantage to take that off and get him back up to full. Or maybe you would decide something else. Maybe he is able to find something that's helpful in the closet, maybe a particular way that he can arrange things in the closet so that if anybody tries to break down the door, he's able to push something heavy on top of them, something like that. So the droid is fixed. He's in good shape. Let's continue on. Maybe we'll go with the bounty hunter here. I think it's called a Twi'lek. Let's see what she's going to do. Well, according to this particular scene in the adventure, there's actually another female Twi'lek over here on stage at the cantina that's dancing to recorded music. So I don't think there's a live band there, but she's kind of doing some seductive dance, I'm sure, over there on stage. And there's a door back there. And so in the example of play, once again, the player character playing the bounty hunter says that she wants to have her character bolt across the cantina and kind of appeal and speak to this Twi'lek one-on-one and say, can you help me out? Hide me, quick. And then you have to roll to see if you can convince the dancer to interrupt what she's doing, stop what she's doing, and help you out and hide you somewhere. So what skill would that be? According to the adventure, that's going to be, I believe it's charm. So let's open up this bounty hunter. Is this bounty hunter charming? I don't know. Well, it's based on presence. Got a pretty good presence here of 3, so got some natural ability. No ranks, so we're going with a straight 3, and then we'll start to put them together. 1, 2, 3. And then we've got our difficulty dice, and it says that because of the character's description, she's trying to go from speak to someone of her own race, you know, female, Twi'lek, one to another. The game master decides to award her one of those advantage dice. So let's give this a roll. Alright, what did we get? We've got 3 successes and 1 threat. So it was successful, but something kind of worked against her there. And what could that be? Well, I think there may be something. It's amazing how these die rolls are actually very similar to what is in this sample play. It says that she seems reluctant. The dancer seems reluctant to help. And she said she can get in trouble, but she finally relents, because according to that player's die roll, she got a success, but she has one threat. Very similar to our roll. So what did he decide? Or what did she decide? Okay, you can hide backstage in my dressing room, but don't let my boss find out or I'll be fired. So you feel guilty about it and you suffer one strain. Alright, so you are successful, but that one threat there actually causes the Twi'lek bounty hunter to actually add another point of strain. So not only was she at 2, that's now up to 3 points for her. So she's suffered 3 strain now. She kind of felt bad for putting that other Twi'lek on the spot. Well, we've just got our hired gun, the Wookiee, left. What's he going to do? Well, we can see where everybody else is getting settled. In this example, once again, it says, I'm really good at athletics. Is there a way I could use that skill here? Maybe by climbing up above the door. Are there rafters or something? And this is the kind of question a GM would typically get. And the GM quickly comes up with, sure, there are a whole series of metal struts above the cantina floor where the extra alcohol appears to be stored. You can climb up there with an easy athletics check. So let's take a look and see what kind of dice pool the Wookiee would have. Alright, the Wookiee's character folio. Oops, went one page too far. I want the first page. Athletics. That's based on brawn, kind of your character's strength. That's 4. Wookiees are strong. 1 skill rank in athletics, so kind of like the droid was able to roll 4 dice, the Wookiee can as well. So 3 green and 1 yellow, and then our 1 difficulty dice here. So let's do this the old-fashioned way. We roll it. We've got a point of threat, advantage, 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 and a success. So this is going to cancel. These are going to cancel each other out. So successful. That one little burst there is a success, and 3 advantage. So something, you know, really in his favor happened once he crawled up there. What happened in the sample play? Let's see. He gets a success with 2 advantage. So he's actually got 1 less than we do. We actually have 3. And he said he'd like to spend advantage to take a free maneuver. So I think in the book there are some guidelines about how you can spend these points of advantage and disadvantage. And a free maneuver is kind of like a free action of some kind. And the GM says, okay, what do you want to do? And he said, I'd like to draw my vibro axe. So that's what the Wookiee is using there, some big vibrating axe. So he not only has time to climb up there, but he has time to get his weapon ready. So maybe that's maybe we'll just follow that lead, and we'll say that he's right above the entrance here, and the guards are about to come in. So here they come. We've got our Gamorrean thugs. Supposed to be 1 thug per player character. They're crowding in the doorway, and the Wookiee's kind of right there on top of them at the door. So everybody was successful. I mean, a couple of them had a little bit of some kind of disadvantage happen, and a couple of them did very well and had some sort of advantage come up in their roll. So what happens next? Well, we go into our adventure book, and I believe it gives us the options right here. After each hero player has rolled, we have, if they hid successfully, read this. If anybody failed, read that. Well, basically what it says for us here is that since they were all successful, the enforcers don't see them, and they think there's nothing of interest, and you know they're going to keep looking for you, but they've got their backs turned. They're headed out of the cantina. It's a perfect moment to strike. Perfect moment to strike. Continue to Encounter 2. Well, Encounter 2 is going to take us and give us a chance to maybe play out some sample combat. So I hope you'll join me for that. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you for some more Star Wars Edge of the Empire soon.